All right, Brother Rab, what we doing here?
We're fishing. We're getting ready to go out and go fishing.
What time is it?
Let's see. What are we talking about? We're looking at 6:15. I think they go out at 7.
So, is it true that statement, the early bird gets the worm?
I don't know about
Is
that.
it the early fisherman gets the fish?
Well, the early fisherman gets the best spot on the boat. Hopefully.
Fishing on the Chesapeake has always been a big economic, social event, and African Americans were an integral part of it. Many of them actually began to provide fishing trips for people that lived in the cities. They would come down from New York, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Baltimore. Some would come up from the Virginia area. And so it was really watermen, I would say, that found a way to diversify in order to stay in business, and they began carrying out fishing parties.
So what's a waterman? What do watermen do?
Work on the water year-round. He crab, oyster, clam. Do whatever's necessary according to the season come in.
The Chesapeake Bay is located just off the coast of the Atlantic Ocean and is surrounded by Maryland and Virginia. With a watershed covering over 64,000 square miles, it is the largest estuary in the United States, with more than 150 rivers that drain into it from 6 states: New York, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, and West Virginia. About 200 miles long, the bay stretches from the Susquehanna River in the north down to the Atlantic Ocean in the south, and is spanned in only 2 places: by the Chesapeake Bay Tunnel in Virginia, connecting Virginia Beach to Cape Charles, and by the Chesapeake Bay Bridge in Maryland, crossing from Sandy Point near Annapolis to Kent Island.
I've never done anything else but worked on the water. So that was my living, making money on the water, ocean, crabbing, fishing. So we decided to go in the fishing business because the oysters business was getting scarce, the oysters and the clams and so forth. So the fishing was just about the best thing was going right at that time on the water. So we decided to stay with the fishing. It was back in the 60s when we started. And it was just 2 of us running then. And his name was Butler. And I think him and I started just about the same time.
Right here from this harbor at Kenton area, there are about 8 to 10 head boats that go out daily.
When they say the head boat, it means that each individual was charged a separate rate. It might be from $20 to $40 per person. So they refer to it as a head boat, and so you charge by the head.
You can bring your own tackle or you can rent tackle on the head boats, but you don't have to make appointments. They go daily. You just be there at a certain time, pay your money, and go fishing. Cold, isn't it?
Captain Warren Butler has lived an active life both on and off the water.
I'm 75 years old. I've worked on the water all my life, ever since high school in 1946. I started fooling with boats. My vessel's named the April M. The name was on there when I bought it from a captain down at Lewes, Delaware in 1992. The name April, I think it was his wife's name. You can change the name on a vessel when you buy it, but you have to go through the federal documentation place, and it's a fee of $200 to change the name, so I decided to leave the same name on it. My crew is Captain Joe Green, my brother-in-law, and Captain Robert Butler, my brother. All of us are in our 70s.
As Captain Butler awaits the departure time,
Yeah, that's a lot better, Andy. Yeah, this is another radio.
the anglers in back prepare for an extraordinary day of fishing on the bay. At 7 o'clock a.m., it's time to shove off. There's a rush of adrenaline as the engines rev up, and the boat pulls away from the dock. You are going fishing, and anticipation is high as you head out for deeper waters and hopefully the biggest and hungriest fish in the bay.
This particular area here at Kent Island, when they built this Bay Bridge in 1952, lots of fishermen started coming across here that used to go to southern Maryland. It's constantly picked up because it's much more convenient, to the fishermen from the Baltimore, Washington, Philadelphia area. Fishing has been great here back in the 50s, and all through the 50s and 60s, and it's never saw it really start to slow down until the latter part of the 70s, and I think due to overfishing and pollution from so much construction here on this eastern shore after the construction of that Bay Bridge. But it's still a very convenient fishing location for people to come.
Real fishermen often fish come rain or shine, but it's always good to know what kind of weather to expect and to avoid going out when there are any forecasts that might become dangerous.
The marine forecast for Chesapeake Bay from Smith Point to New Point Comfort, Virginia. Today, south winds 5 to 10 knots, waves 1 foot, chance of showers through the day, chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon, waves 1 to 2 feet.
Much like hope and despair, storms and bad weather are a constant concern on the bay, and even the most experienced of these captains has a story to tell.
When the storms begin to come up, you want to take cover. Go to the first port you can go to, and make sure that you leave in time. Don't wait till the storm get right there upon you, because that is dangerous.
Been 3 years ago. It was 3 years ago on Labor Day. We had a little small twister come through, and it was like the worst time that I've seen since I've been working in water all those years.
It was a rough day. That wind got up. I have never seen it blow that hard in my life.
I was almost in the harbor. It was, and I turned around. I saw it. You could see it coming. It was picking the water up. I turned around and headed up into it, and the people, they panicked because they want to know why I was turning around. But from experience and from training, that if you can't outrun it, you got to meet it and head up into it. Keep your motor, hope your motor keep running.
The winds was around 60, 70 miles an hour, and blew a lot of tops off to some of the captain's boats, blew some of the cabins off, and we were just lucky that nothing else happened.
The cloud came up so quick. Before I could get my anchor on the deck, the wind had hit. And thank the Lord we weathered the storm and made it back safe to sound.
Most storms don't last over 5 minutes, but they can do so much damage while it's there. It'll blow over 5 or 10 minutes, it's gone. But it can do some damage in that 5 or 10 minutes. So you don't get a whole lot of warning.
In my working on the water, I pulled 3 people out of the water in some pretty bad storms and things like that. But all the days have been interesting. Every day is an interesting day. That's what makes me like it. It's a different story every day. No 2 days are alike.
Upon arrival at the predetermined fishing spot, it's time to drop anchor and then start fishing. There we go. What's your name, sir?
Clarence Hall.
Where you from, Clarence?
Woodbridge, Virginia.
Larry.
Larry, where you from, Larry?
Washington.
Washington, D.C., huh?
D.C.
Ernest Moore, Durham, North Carolina.
What, is that the first fish of the day?
That's the first one of the day. Gotta go back.
You gotta go back. Won't you make a sandwich? I was gonna say, I always thought you was a better fisherman than that, Rab.
Give me a minute.
Bloodworms, night crawlers, peeler crab, shrimp, and squid. But the basic bait, the best one we use for bottom fishing for spot, perch, and croaker, or bloodworm.
This is my secret.
That's your secret, huh?
Yeah, this is my
What's
secret.
that? Bloodworm. Bloodworm.
Yeah.
So what, you put that whole thing on the hook or what?
No, chop them up. Chop them up. That's about 10 fish.
All right. It's a good one, huh?
Yeah. Nice. So I take it you gonna keep that, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, now don't make a mistake and throw him over in my bucket.
I said sometimes this whole fleet be fishing out of Cambridge, Maryland, or Crisfield. It would depend on where the better fish are.
Another early morning at the Kent Narrows dock finds the Miss Violet ready to begin her day with a dedicated angler already in position at the back of the boat.
My name's Keisha Grant.
So what kind of fish you like to catch?
Big ones. Spot, croakers, striped bass, whatever's biting, I like to catch it. So
what are you planning to pull out the bait this morning?
they're telling me we're gonna catch some perch, maybe some rockfish. I don't know about any blues being left around, but that's about it.
Get your name, sir.
David. How you doing?
David what, please?
Hawkins.
So why you get up so early to come fishing?
Come to beat my buddy here, Kevin, and fishing. Number one in fishing. We got a competition going. Come to teach him a few more things about fishing.
See, he's trying to get a head start. I want everybody to know we haven't even left the dock yet, and he's trying to get a head start on me. This is the way Dave cheats. This is his way of cheating. Using my rod to cheat with, but you know, my rod is used to me, so it won't never hook on there. I hope never hook right now. You know.
Yeah, Daryl, we normally go with Daryl.
Yeah.
We've been out with Daryl I've been with this is my 5th trip going out with him.
Probably like my 12th.
Every time he took us out, first he dropped your line. We've always been on fishing and everything, so I'm very pleased with the captain. And normally he runs like from 7 in the morning, he pulls out and gets back to 2 o'clock. It's about like a 7 to 8 hour day of fishing, relaxation on the water and everything. And then you get back to the dock, and I'm the winner. 2nd place, 3rd place. Uncover your head, be on camera. 4th place. He just.
I'll be in 1st or 2nd.
She was there. Oh man, I don't know what time it is now.
Yeah, well, he's just gonna be there. And this is our late.
That's Baltimore. Baltimore. Good morning, folks. That's Captain's brother. Oh yeah. Why fish? I don't know. I guess it's a curiosity of seeing what's on the other end of that line when you pull it in. You know, but it's real relaxed.
Basically, because you never know. Once you drop the line in the water, you never know what you're gonna get. I mean, you always got the enthusiasm the big one's gonna bite. So you always try to go out and say, okay, today gonna be the day when the big one bites. So when you get the real big one, it'll make your day. I mean big one mean like that. Not little guppies like Kevin catch like that. But we talking about big ones like that. So basically I've come out here just to show him the techniques of how to catch fish. See, what he do is go to the market and buy the fish and then go home and say, I got all these fish. But I'm the true fisherman, as you will see today. So I'm come give him a few techniques of taking some fish home.
Right there is my GPS. I just program an area where we're going at first.
Some say that working on the water is in the blood, and Captain Darrell Roy has been running a boat on the bay since he was 15 years old. For him, like many others, it's a family affair being carried on from generation to generation.
How long you been a captain, Captain Roy?
I'm certified about 20 years now.
So what got you into the business?
Well, father's footsteps, I guess. He's been on the water for about 50-some years. And I just took in following him, I guess.
But I got 4 sons. I got 7 sons all total, but I got 4 that's on the water. And they was raised up on the water. They came up from 9, 10 years old, so they got into it. Some of them, don't want to do anything but that. My son Darrell is a gardener by trade. He captains in the summer, and he goes carpentry in the winter.
Well, I enjoy the water, being out here for one thing. And once that get in your blood, it's hard to get it out.
sir?
Terrence Roy.
All right. So you're the captain's brother, right?
Yes, I am.
All right. So what you doing here on the boat?
Oh, mating, fishing right now. Mating assistant. I netted a rockfish today. Caught a catfish myself. Untangling lines. We ain't had much of that today. And sometimes taking off toes. We only had one of them today. But it's been a rough day though.
I'll be in a minute. Open the cooler, baby. We put these doubles on here. Since my partner Dave down there ain't gonna do nothing. Look, see? I want you to say it. Look up, okay?
My name is Vanessa Pearson. I like fish because I don't eat meat.
You got any special ways you cook it?
No, I fry it, I bake it, I grill them, I'll blacken them. Kroger's my favorite.
You ever jerk and get some jerk seasoning?
Yes, jerk on the grill is the best.
Yeah. Well, Captain, how's the day going?
Pretty good, pretty good. Under the conditions that we had, I would say it's a good day. Yes, indeed.
The end of a fishing day on the bay is bittersweet. You've enjoyed a good day on the water and hopefully caught lots of fish. But there's still the long boat ride back to the dock and then the even longer drive back home. But your day is still not over until you've cleaned all those fish.
You want to come over here, huh?
There you go. You can put it in your bucket.
Go ahead. Put it right in that bucket. and onto the truck.
We got on tent narrow fishing. We caught a bunch of white perch, catfish, white perch. Out of amongst of us, Chesapeake won the battle. First place. Second place. I hate to do it.
You're gonna have to.
Third place. Last but least, me. Came in last, but we had a marvelous day. Water was rough first thing in the morning, but we headed north, a little more calmer water. And then we started catching fish, and it was a good day. So, come out and enjoy Kid Narrow. Website Captain Darrell. 7 days a week? 7 days. 7 days a week. Hey! See, everybody's fishing, everybody enjoying the day. Good day on the water.
But how many good days remain for the anglers and watermen of the Chesapeake Bay? Because of pollutants from municipal and industrial wastewaters, mercury and toxins being spewed from power plants, and animal waste and fertilizers being washed into the bay every day, many say that the bay is dying.
Well, my time is about over with now, but I don't think too much of it for the young man. I tell you. That's the reason I never really got my kids into getting interested in working on the water, because I saw it was a dying business 20 years ago.
You have to almost follow in somebody's footsteps, and it's a couple of the other young black captains follow their father, and then I follow my father, and I got a couple of my sons that go out too, so I don't know if they'll like the water, but we'll see, because they city boys, they from New York City, so we'll see.
I don't see the fathers handing down the kids staying on the water, the father teaching them how to make a living as a waterman anymore. Because at this point in time, they'll starve to death trying to make a living out here.
What really finished the oyster business off when they went to commercial scuba diving. It was too efficient. You know, in 1950 they came through, instead of harvesting them by hand tongs or dredges, we went into commercial diving, and it was, to my notion, it was just too efficient, because when you're down there looking at them, you can pick them all up. If you got to dredge them, you just get what you're able to get with the dredge or the oyster tong. But these, when they would scuba diving, they just went down there and picked them all up, and eventually you took up all the oysters that were there, reproducing and everything. You took them all. where you found it didn't leave any little ones or anything. They just took them all.
As far as I can see, they have commercial have nets, and there's no limit on what they can catch. And with one fish, have a limit on, and that's the rockfish. I think each one that have license, they're allowed to keep 200 pounds of rock a day when the season ends. Now, the rockfish is the only one I know that have a limit. Now you take the croakers and the perch and all other different kind of fish, they catch all they want. And as long as they can do that, the fish are going to get scarce and scarce every year. It should have a limit on all the fish that they catch.
Well, I think it is very important that we really get all of the stakeholders involved in trying to preserve and conserve the Chesapeake Bay. Because if things continue the way they are, with the fisheries of the bay declining, the regulation of the bay increasing, the impact with growth and development, I mean, what we really want is a healthy Chesapeake Bay, because it's really going to fuel the economy. Right now, we see signs of the decline on the bay on a way of life that I don't think will ever return again. The watermen of the Chesapeake. And it's a particular tragic story for the black watermen of the Chesapeake, because that was a story that's just beginning to be told. At the same time, the resources are declining.
What's going to be the greatest thing in the next few years is that we won't have any areas to operate. The black captains don't own, most of them don't own waterfront property. We're loading right here where I'm sitting. This is instead of getting in tourist area. They talking about putting boardwalks. They talking about putting parking meters. So I don't know how much longer we can be able to load here. We can't afford to buy waterfront property to load. This is owned by the county. The county's been good to us, and if they rule this out, and they putting, they got the Gordon Inn going up over there. And they got 2 pieces of property here just been recently bought. And I don't know what they're gonna put there, but if they get those major restaurants and things like that, I don't know what the future gonna be in the next 10 years. I really don't.
If I had to do it again, I guess I would do the same thing. It's been an independent job, and I really enjoyed it. I've seen good days, I've seen bad days. And I've been scared a lot of days out there. Been caught in a couple of hurricanes, but we managed it.
It's been a good life, but I've worked, like I say, 50 some years on the water, and it's been a good life.
It's been a good living, you know. Also, I raised 8 kids, put them all through school doing it, and it's a very few watermen that retire. They don't have that many benefits by being self-employed and all that. And most of them work till they get the age I am or older. They work till they can't go any longer. So that's why I'm still into the business, because I need the money.
Well, I'm not going to retire, because if you retire, you don't have anything else to do, and just lay around. I don't know if you're going to stay around, wait for, because it's not anything coming to you but death. So what I want to do is just keep right on going until I take sick or something and I'm not able to work, so I would have to stop.
I'm not going to retire, I'm just going to expire. I'm not going to retire.
The thing I think that would kill the black waterman more than anything else is, say, from now on you have to be a greeter at Walmart. I mean, these guys have lived an independent life on that Chesapeake Bay, and to take them off the water, it would just really be tragic.
So do you think you'll see 50 years on the bay?
50 years? If it's continue at the present rate, I probably won't.
As long as the fish bite, then the people will come.
Well, one of the things that I really want my personal legacy and my organization's legacy is to pass on the spirit of the Chesapeake Bay. And when I talk about the spirit, I'm talking about that the bay No matter how many scientific studies that are done, the bay has a spirit and a personality of its own. One old waterman told me one time, Vince, that God can turn that Chesapeake Bay around any day and any time it wants, and if man just gets out of nature's way. And so one of the things I really hope is working with children. I really think children are the future of the Chesapeake. They might not be watermen, but they can be marine scientists, they can be biologists, they can be oceanographers. They can be involved in all aspects of the industry, because I think it's the young people that are really going to help unlock the secret of the Chesapeake Bay. How to find the balance between man and nature, how to find the balance between the farmer and the urban dweller, because it's almost like a hubcap. Until we all can just tap gently around the Chesapeake Bay, we're never going to solve it, because if you bang on one side, another side is going to pop out. And so my hope and my prayer is that we expose the young people to this wonderful resource, let them know the history, let them know the future, and help them capture the spirit of the Chesapeake Bay.
Good fish.